guys, it's Janie. Welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy. Today I have a double whammy review for you, and that is book and movie. And it is Salem's Lot. I read this as a buddy read with Janelle, and then we both watched the movie. The movie that I watched was the 2004 edition, and that was the one with Rob Lowe. I've had this movie for a long time, and I didn't want to watch it till I reread the book because it had been like 15 years since I've read the book. So I'm going to talk about both of these. We're going to talk about the book first. It is phenomenal, of course. I didn't remember every detail from when I read it the first time, so reading it again just helped me realize why I had given it 5 stars before. That Stephen King, if you are a fan, you know can be very wordy. And during that time that he's being very wordy, it's generally because he's setting up the town. He's setting up the characters. And one thing I can say about that is that you will know the town and you will know the people as if you are in the town with them. And something else I can tell you is that you will not forget them. It's just the way Stephen King writes. He writes in a way that you remember what he writes and you remember the characters, what you liked about them, what you didn't like about them. So he's very good at character development. And I love that about Stephen King because everything that I read by him, I like. It's just, I can't help myself. So what you have going on in the stories, you have Ben Mears, who is an author, who goes back to his town, Salem's Lot, to kind of face some demons. Because when he was there as a young boy, he was pretty traumatized by something that he had witnessed and something else that he thought could have been prevented. He was 9 years old and he just had to come back and face those demons and forgive himself as well. So he is in this town. He's going to start writing a book, so it will help him get everything out and what he's feeling. And he starts to see a problem in the town with people and, how lies were covered up and how things go on. The small town setting where everybody knows everything but nobody says anything and that kind of stuff. And they think their secrets are hidden and all that good stuff. And then the vampires start. And that's all I'm going to tell you about this story because there's a lot to tell. There's a lot in the book. And I just feel like one thing could lead to another and give away spoilers. So yeah, this is a vampire book, as you can tell by the cover. I don't normally read vampire stories because I just find a lot of them are cheesy. Unless they're the hardcore vampires from way back when they were evil and they didn't care about the people they were going after, or they didn't sparkle and all that stuff. So, these are hardcore vampires. These are not vampires that, oh, I love you kind of thing. So, those are the kind of vampire stories I can read, which is why I can read Dracula as well. So anyway, that's all I'm going to tell you about this. The plot, of course, is awesome. The characters are awesome. Some wordiness, but after a certain point, you just can't put the book down. Generally, Stephen King stuff, when it's wordy, it's not because you're bored, it's because you've got to kind of take in what you've read, and you've got to give yourself a break. Because there's a lot of people that you have to remember, and a lot of little tiny things that go on that are important, that kind of stuff. But once I got to a certain point, when we got past the development of the town and the people, it went pretty quickly, and I was glued to the story. Janelle even asked me, what are you going to do? Because it's, read your e-reader right now. Are you going to take a break and read that? I said, yeah, I'll probably stop this now, and then when read your e-reader starts, I'll read that book and then come back, and then read the next one and come back. I couldn't do it. I couldn't put the book down. I am on track now with read your e-reader, so that's good. So, yeah, this was fantastic. 5 stars. Loved it. If you've not read Salem's Lot, you should really pick it up, especially if you're a King fan or you like stories on vampires, those real hardcore vampires. This book has them. It was fantastic. Now for the movie, Rob Lowe, of course, played Ben Mears, and then Donald Sutherland played Mr. Straker, who is in this as kind of the vampire keepers. You know how the vampires always have somebody that keeps an eye out for them to keep them from danger and that kind of stuff. That's who Mr. Straker was. So Donald Sutherland played a very good role in this, and there's a really, really creepy part with him in here too, and yeah. Rutger Hauer plays the actual head vampire in this one, and I've always loved Rutger Hauer in everything that he's been in. I've loved it. I think he's a great actor. So I think the actors were decent. Samantha Mathis, she played Susan, the female in the show, and I thought that she was pretty good too. I could picture her as Susan. I wasn't so sure about Rob Lowe being Ben Mears at first, but he just played an incredible role. He's a great actor, and he did really well on this. Of course, there are parts in this movie that are changed. It always has to be like that. They always have to change something in a Stephen King or in any movie. So there are parts that are different. But I do have to say that I think some of the key parts were on point. The ending of the movie was quite different than what we read in the book, but I think the ending of it was an extension to the book more than the actual ending of the book. So I did find that the end of this you just won't read in here. Like I said, it's like it was an extension to the book to kind of put it on that ending note, but not quite on an ending note, because it seemed like they kept it open. So if maybe Stephen King wanted to continue, there was an open. I don't know. It just seemed that way to me. Now I didn't watch the other version, which is the 1979 version with David Soul, and I think if I remember correctly, David Soul plays Ben Mears, but don't quote me on that because I saw that movie years and years ago. So I have no idea. I don't even remember that. But this one is the one that I chose this time because I don't even own that old one. I need to get it. But yeah, I think the movie was well done. I don't think there was too many changes to it from the book. There's a few that was kind of weird to me, but other than that, I think it was well done. It was a pretty lengthy movie. It was very close to 2 hours. So, I mean, it was pretty lengthy. So yeah, if you like Stephen King, you really need to pick these both up, the movie and the book. They were both fantastic to me. This is definitely worth the watch. Don't be put off about a movie made from a Stephen King book because they always seem to mess them up. But in this case, I think they did a pretty good job. So that is my double whammy review of book and movie on Salem's Lot. If you've read this book, let me know in the comments below, or even if you've watched the movie, and we will talk about it. Thanks, guys, for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.